Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome. We're here today to demystify a topic that's reshaping the corporate landscape in India, ESG reporting. Whether you're a company secretary, a sustainability head, or an investor, understanding the how and why of business responsibility and sustainability reporting, or BRSR, is no longer optional, it's a strategic necessity. Think of BRSR not just as a compliance checkbox, but as your company's green balance sheet. Throughout this session, we'll break down the SEBI-mandated structure, look at the key players involved, and see how tools like the Karbon platform by Planet Sustech act as your knowledge bank for every single disclosure. Let's dive into why this transition happened. So, let's start by looking at the fundamental purpose of this framework in our next slide. You might be wondering, why did we move away from the old BRRR format? Well, as per SEBI's circular from May 2021, the regulator realized that qualitative stories weren't enough. Investors and rating agencies needed hard data. BRSR is a standardized format that combines business responsibility with measurable sustainability performance. It's the primary tool used by the NSE and BSE to evaluate your market reputation and ESG scores. It basically tells the world that you aren't just making money, but you're making it responsibly. If you find some of these regulatory transitions complex, the Karbon platform provides a side-by-side comparison of the old versus new requirements to clear that up. Now that we know why we're doing this, let's look at how the report itself is actually organized. The BRSR is structured to give a 360-degree view of your organization. It's not just a big pile of questions. It's a logical flow. It's divided into 3 distinct buckets, or wild beebles. Section A is your who we are, Section B is how we lead, and Section C is what we actually do. Everything here is built around the 9 principles of the National Guidelines on Responsible Business Conduct, NGRBC. These principles ensure that everything from ethics to environmental stewardship is covered. Each question in these sections is mapped out in the Karbon Knowledge Bank, where you can find detailed templates on how to draft these responses. Let's zoom into the first bucket, Section A. Section A is all about the identities of your business. This section asks for the basics, your CIN, your locations, and your products, but it goes deeper into your human capital, like your employee and worker profiles, including diversity metrics. One of the most critical parts here is the value chain overview. SEBI wants to know who your key partners are. For those using the Karbon platform, there's a specific module that helps you map your group structure, including subsidiaries and JVs, ensuring no entity is left out of the reporting boundary. With the who established, we next move to the how, the management and process disclosures. This section is where you show that ESG isn't just a department, it's a board-level priority. SEBI and NSE guidelines place a heavy emphasis on governance. You need to disclose if your policies align with those 9 NGRBC principles we mentioned. Who is the director responsible for sustainability? What are your grievance redressal mechanisms? It's about accountability. If you're struggling to draft these policies, the Karbon platform's Knowledge Bank offers guidance references to help align your internal processes with global best practices. Now we get to the heart of the report. Section C, where the actual performance data lives. This is where the rubber meets the road. Section C is the evidence section. Here, you provide quantitative data for all 9 principles, P1 to P9. We're talking about everything from ethics, P1, and employee well-being, P3 to environment, P6, and consumer responsibility, P9. You'll report on essential indicators, which are mandatory, and leadership indicators, which show you're going above and beyond. For every KPI or target you need to set, Karbon offers a complete handholding experience, explaining exactly what intensities ratios you need to calculate. But who in your company is responsible for all this data? Let's look at the departments involved. Preparing a BRSR is a team sport. It cannot be done in a silo by just one person. As you can see, it touches almost every corner of the company, from the company secretary and finance teams to HR, EHS, environment, health and safety, and even IT for data privacy. It's a massive data gathering exercise. This is why a centralized platform is so helpful. It allows different departments to log in and contribute their specific pieces of the puzzle. Let's break down what each of these departments actually contributes. Every department has a specific data buckets they own. The CS team usually handles the board info and governance policies. HR brings the safety and diversity metrics. The EHS and Operations teams are the stars when it comes to energy, water, and GHG emissions. Finance tracks the green capex, the money you're spending on sustainability. It sounds like a lot of coordination, right? The Karbon platform acts as the bridge here, providing a knowledge bank for each department so they know exactly what data points SEBI is looking for in their specific area. Now, after all this work, why do we actually do it? Let's look at the benefits. Beyond the fact that it's a SEBI requirement, there's a huge business case for BRSR. Top-tier lenders and investors now use these reports to decide who gets capital. A strong BRSR identifies risks before they become crises and identifies gaps in your ESG performance. It's about building trust, halogens. Regulators use it for oversight, but ESG rating agencies use it to give you a score. Banks use it to determine sustainability-linked loans. Even your customers, especially large global buyers, might look at your BRSR to see if you're a responsible supplier. It's a public document that speaks volumes about your company's character. When you use a structured system like Karbon, your data becomes more audit-ready, which naturally enhances your brand and stakeholder confidence. Now let's see. How does this Indian format stack up against the rest of the world? Let's look at global frameworks. If your company operates globally, you're likely familiar with GRI, TCFD, or the SDGs. The beauty of BRSR is that it was designed to be interoperable. SEBI aligned it with international standards like the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI, and the Sustainable 1. Development Goals, SDGs. One set of data in your Karbon platform can actually support multiple frameworks, so you aren't doing the work twice, you're doing it once, correctly, for everyone. This brings us to a term we hear a lot, the ESG score. What is it really? What? Think of an ESG score as a credit rating, but for your sustainability performance, agencies look at your public disclosures, primarily your BRSR, to see how well you manage environmental and social risks. They also look at controversies or legal issues. A high score means you're seen as a low-risk, high-integrities investment. It's the ultimate benchmark in today's market. But how does the BRSR actually influence that score? Let's see. Quality matters more than quantity when it comes to scores. The agencies look for completeness. Are you skipping questions? Are your environmental KPIs like GHG emissions and water intensity improving over time? They look at the strength of your board oversight and how you treat your value chain. This is where the Karbon Knowledge Bank is vital. It helps you understand the leadership indicators that can actually tip your score from average to leader. Now, let's talk about a very important recent update, the BRSR Core. BRSR Core. Watch. To make reporting even more reliable, SEBI introduced something called BRSR Core. BRSR Core is a subset of the main report. It focuses on high-impact, standardized KPIs that are easy to compare across companies. It's SEBI's way of saying, if you do nothing else, these are the critical numbers we need to trust. It includes specific environmental and social metrics that are the most material to investors. But why does this Core's version matter so much? Let's find out. BRSR Core is all about data reliabilities. Because these are standardized, investors can compare Company A with Company B much more accurately. It drives companies to set up better internal controls and documentation. Essentially, it prepares you for the next big step, mandatory assurance. Using the Karbon platform ensures that your core metrics are tracked with the precision required for an audit. What exactly is covered in this Core's version? Let's take a high-level look. The Core covers the big three: environment, social, and governance. You'll see things like GHG emissions, energy and water intensity, and waste management. On the social side, it looks at safety, wages, and workforce diversity. A unique part of the Core is the value chain. It asks about your supplier's ESG conduct too. Most of these are expressed as ratios, making them easy to benchmark. You can find a detailed breakdown of these ratios in the Karbon Knowledge Bank. You might ask, why only these specific questions? Why not the whole report? In the past, ESG was self-reported. Now, for many, it must be audited. SEBI has mandated reasonable assurance for BRSR Core KPIs for the top-listed companies. This means an independent third party checks your data for accuracy and consistency. It's just like a financial audit, but for your ESG numbers. This is why having a robust trail of evidence is so important. The Karbon platform is designed to build this audit trail automatically, making the assurance process smooth and stress-free. Closing statement. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the why of BRSR to the technicalities of the core and assurance. Remember, this is a journey, not just a report. For those of you who want to dive deep into every single question and gain the entire knowledge base, I highly encourage you to log in to the Karbon platform by Planet Sustech. It's your complete knowledge bank and hand-holding partner for every step of this process. Thank you for your time, and let's lead the way in sustainable business. So, to summarize, we looked at different types of waste: hazardous, non-hazardous, recyclable, organic or biodegradable, inert, and e-waste. And we looked at common disposal methods: landfill, open-loop recycling, closed-loop recycling, and incineration. If you understand these basics, you'll find it much easier to classify waste correctly and to choose the right disposal method when you are entering data for your sustainability or ESG reports, and more importantly, you'll start seeing where there is a chance to move waste up the ladder from landfill towards recycling and recovery and reduce the overall environmental impact of your factory